What's up and what's good, everybody? It is Sean with 614 Inc. Reviews and How-Tos, and today we are going to be taking a look at how to disassemble your Ford F-150 running boards so that you can sandblast them, paint them, powder coat them, Line-X, Rhino line, whatever it is that you are into. And so without further ado, let's get into another one. Alright, this one's pretty straightforward. What you are going to want to do is grab a 10mm socket setup and get under the truck, and on both sides of the vehicle you are going to have two brackets holding each running board to the truck, front and rear bracket for each running board. On the bottom side of each of those brackets you are going to have 2 bolts per bracket for a total of 8 10mm bolts that we are about to remove. I'll show you how to do this in a time-lapse video. Last thing too, before you remove your running boards, it is wise, even if you are going to sandblast them, just take all the precautions you can. It takes 2 seconds to do it. Why not be safe? To lay some type of drop cloth down on the garage floor. That way you have a nice soft work surface so that you're not dragging and raking your running boards across concrete and putting rash marks on them that may or may not sandblast out during the sandblast process. And if you are not even sandblasting them and you're going to paint, you are definitely going to want to lay some type of soft drop cloth down to work over. I also like to get 2 buckets, 5-gallon buckets, one for left side hardware, one for right side hardware. And that way when we break everything down, you can have it in the buckets nice and neat and individually separated. That way when you are finished with them, you know exactly where the hardware is to which specific running board, and it makes the reassembly process much easier. So let's jump into it. Alright YouTube, so there is nothing to this whole process. This is the end cap, the plastic end cap of the running board. That faces the front of the vehicle. Obviously that's the rear of the running board. On this inside here, which would be the closest side, whether you're working on the passenger or driver side, this is relative to the inside of the vehicle. There's a 10mm hex head bolt, just the same as there were on the underside, to remove the running board from the bracket. Once you remove this 10mm hex head bolt, you're simply going to grab this plastic end piece and pry forward. Once you feel it move, you will see some, I don't know how well they're going to show up in this video, and it is difficult to get you an angle, but some channels, and it's going to eventually bottom out, because what it is, and I will remove it and show you, is there are some plastic retaining tabs on the bottom here, and you can see them, and they go right in to this channel here on the running board. And so when you pull it forward, you are pulling it towards the front into those big squares there, which will remove them from their retaining channels. And so once you remove those plastic end caps, which obviously super simple, nothing to it, you're gonna get a pry tool of some sort. Whatever type of pry tool you find most effective. There's no right or wrong way. I have this one. This is I think a cheapie from like Amazon or something like that, but I found that I've got some high-dollar Matco ones and a Snap-on one, and a little cheapie Amazon wide mouth worked best for this application. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna go down to the individual tread pieces and start and just pop up. And this is super duper simple. The bottom of these have these, thank God they're not like plastic removable retaining pins. These are built on to the plastic tread. Nothing to it at all. I mean, you are gonna pull these off and you are gonna just go right down the row and remove them. They are all the same size, so you do not have to worry about keeping them in line. What I find is you start on the inside of the running board, you get that first one removed, and what I'm doing is using downward pressure, and once you get that first one removed, you don't even have to use one on the inside. So if you just start and make sure that you get under the tread before you start to pry, because you can damage and dent your tread, and when you reinstall them, you don't want to see any wear marks. And so I won't bore you with talking and description. One is the same as the next, and we'll just go right down the row. I'll do a time lapse and show you how these come out. All right, now that we have all of the plastic tread inserts removed and the front and rear caps removed, the last little thing I want to tell you guys about, you have these little metal inserts on the bottom of the running board that the bracket bolts actually screw into to mount the running board to the bracket. You're going to want to remove these. There's actually 6. There's 1 on each of the plastic end caps, and then there's 2 on the bottom of the running board for each of the brackets. And so there's a total of 6. But it's super simple. You're going to want to wear gloves because there is some sharp metal. You are just going to put your screwdriver under, pry up, and then take your fingers and push forward. Now, don't worry, I did it on purpose. You've got the channel on the bottom. The end caps are open. So all you have to do is lift up the running board and you can dump them right out. There's both of them. And so this is going to allow, if you're having them sandblasted, to get all of the coating everywhere removed. If you're having them refinished, which obviously you are if you're doing this process, there's a little bit of material in here that you're going to be able to properly coat. And so if you've removed the treads, the caps, and all of the hardware, you're going to be able to get a complete and professional job. There's also some stickers up here. These stickers are super durable. They're more of vinyl than they are paper, and so they come off pretty easy and don't leave any residue. But again, if you are stripping them down and having them sandblasted, once you remove these, any residual sticker residue that was left is going to come off with no problem. You just see that I got that one pretty much all in one fell swoop. Super simple. And so I hope this helps you guys out. You have a lot more to go off of than what I did. There was no videos or no forums anywhere dedicated to this, and I was a little worried about whether it was possible because I know sometimes when you have individual retaining clips, they're prone to breaking, and I didn't want to make things worse for myself than what they were, but this couldn't have turned out better. And so good luck to you guys out there. Hope it helps. See you on the next one.